What's going on, team? What's going on, team? Welcome to tonight's isolation session for March 20th, 2025. Thursday, March 2025. This is the last isolation session for the week. Tomorrow will be the last trading session of the week. Friday, I usually don't trade, but again, we will still be here. I'll turn the stream on for a little bit. Same thing I did today, right? Today was a little quick 30-minute session. Pretty much today's live trading session was last night's isolation session. I obviously didn't go too into detail with anything. I was just going over the pairs, seeing which ones were left. Everything pretty much moved during Asia and London session. Again, usual. Right after FOMC, you know that the market is going to be moving like crazy. So it's nothing out of this world, nothing out of the ordinary that we haven't seen before. But today, same thing. We'll go over the daily time frame, talk about the market maker's pattern, update our daily highs and daily lows if we need to. Go to the 4-hour time frame, do the same thing. Update our 4-hour highs, 4-hour lows if we need to. Update if we have any continuations left for the week on the 4-hour time frame, right? Any third week highs, any third week lows that need to be made, or fourth week high variations or fourth week low variations. Same thing on the 30-minute. Right, update our 30-minute highs, 30-minute lows. Look at if we have any continuations that we can catch for into tomorrow, some 372s, engulfing candles, continuations, anything like that. We'll talk about it. Before we get started, I'll give everybody 4 more minutes. We'll start at 7:20. I started the stream a little bit late today because I got home. I really wanted to eat. I was hungry. But we're here now, man, and that's all that matters. Any questions throughout the stream, let me know. Any pairs you guys want me to go over in specific, let me know. The pairs we will be going over today are the pairs that we go over every night. The pairs that we trade during our live trading session. The ones with the red flag next to their name. Starting off with AUDUSD, finishing off with US oil. But again, if you guys have any other questions or any other pairs that you guys want me to go over that are not on our list, just let me know and we'll do that at the end of the stream. Anything you guys want me to explain, talk about, etc., just let me know. A lot of great trades were taken this week, man, especially on Instagram. A lot of great traders this week. A lot of big traders, influencers, I would call them. I wouldn't even call them traders. Trading FOMC and losing a lot of cash. But it's part of the game, as they would say. It's part of the game. It's part of their journey. So that's all good and stuff. It's good, Mike. Welcome to the stream, my brother. Great timing, man. We're just talking about your favorite Instagram influencers, man. Whole bunch of I don't want to start the stream off negative, man, but I feel bad for the people who have fallen or continue to fall for their traps and their scams, and I can't really take none of these traders seriously, bro, but at the end of the day, it's a different game that we're playing, man. It's a different game. It's a different level of understanding, of knowledge, of wanting to get better. It's just, you open up Instagram this week and you will see the difference between what we do here compared to the people that are charging you $150, $200 for signals, bullshit signals and bullshit courses. So it's a good thing we do this for free, huh? Should really be. I'm telling you, Mike, I'm about to start charging people $1,000, man. That's 100 pips. We catch 100 pips with our eyes closed. The 3 trades we caught on stream, man. Fucking 500 pips in total. It's 5 bands with a regular dollar lot size. But it is what it is. People rather win 20% of the time because it's part of the game. Again, just gonna give everybody 30 more seconds here to join and then we'll get started. Any questions beforehand, let me know. Anything you guys want me to talk about, let me know. If not, it's gonna be smooth sailing, man. Tomorrow's Friday. Again, I don't really trade on Fridays, so I'm not gonna really make this session too long. Fridays I usually take the day off, relax, try to decompress for the new upcoming week. and then we'll back on Sunday. So since no questions in the chat, let me see Discord. Any questions in Discord? No, no questions in Discord. Mike, I just seen your charts just now. Good job with that. It's not difficult, man. The more you do it, the quicker it'll be. The more you do it, the easier it'll get. It's really simple, man. It's really simple stuff. But as you can see, it's a lot of stuff that without the right guidance, you won't be able to see it. Without the right confirmations, you won't be able to take trades. So, Mr. Adrian, welcome to the stream, my brother. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. No problem, man. No problem. That's what we're here for. Now, that was one thing I always told E, which was, man, there's a lot of fake stuff online. We gotta, we have. I'll tell you guys the right number right now. Right outside of the videos that we used to have on our website before that shit got hacked, we have. Is there not a number that I could see how many streams we've done? Let me see. Give me 1 second. Let's actually go and see if I can give you this number. Right, we've done. Damn, I don't know. I can't see it. Well, just think about it. We started doing the streams September 2023. Right? So we've done a full year. This is about to be our second year doing this for free. Think about it, doing live sessions twice a day, Monday through Friday. Right? That's over what? Almost 1,000 videos? Completely free? It's getting to that point where you really got to start asking yourself, man, like, how long are we going to do this for? We have enough information. We've given people enough information. Too much information for free. So, I don't know when that time is, but definitely going to have to start scaling down and charging people, man. Especially now that we're growing. We're growing more than ever. Getting a lot of one-on-one sessions. So, schedule is definitely cramped up. A lot of homework to go over, a lot of one-on-ones to do. Some of them are quick, some of them aren't. So, all the information that you guys need is literally on the streams. You just got to go back and watch them. Go back and look for them. Everything from market structure to the market makers patterns to the 372s to the 3 weeks to 3 months, from the engulfing candles, the EMAs, what they are, why they do what they do. All of that is on these streams every single day, 2 times a day, Monday through Friday. So it's kind of crazy. So we'll give everybody till 25 and then we'll get started. Give everybody a couple more minutes to join. We'll start at the 15-minute mark on the stream. We're at 13 minutes. Just give everybody a few more seconds, a few more minutes here to join. And then we'll get started again. Gonna be a quick one for today. Tomorrow's Friday. I'm not really expecting too much out of the markets. Actually, before we get started, let's look at Forex Factory too. I don't believe there's news tomorrow. Right, Friday, yeah, no news tomorrow. We have Canadian news at 8:30 in the morning. And then next week we're looking good on Monday. We have news at 9:45. Tuesday there's nothing, no news. Wednesday there's no news. Thursday we have one news folder at 8:30 in the morning, and then Friday next week is looking good too. We have news at 8:30, but it shouldn't be nothing too crazy, just one red flag. And then next week, right, the last week of the month, we have, I believe, no, we're good. Got the non-farm the first Friday of the month, so should be a pretty good last 3 weeks of the month. Not gonna lie, should be pretty good. Can you recommend a book that you learn from? To be honest with you, I've never really learned from books. I don't really have one, especially trading. Never really was. It is called Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. That's the one book I did read when I first started learning how to trade. I'm gonna have that saved on my phone. So that's the only one that I could really recommend, to be honest with you. But I'm not really big into reading, so I never dug deeper into more trading books. But that's the one book that I did read. I learned a little bit from it, definitely. But yeah, it's called Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. There's some things in the books that it's just very cliche. Again, it is the things that I have just a different viewpoint, I guess, of the market compared to a lot of other people. Compared to the regular general public, I guess you could say. When he goes into details about probabilities and stuff like that, kind of shifted my mindset a little bit. Where again, you guys hear me on stream all the time talking about this isn't a game of probabilities, because it's not, in my experience, right? You could cancel out probabilities by understanding where you're trading in the zone, right? So if you know where you're at and you know exactly when and where the market makers are going to trap you and induce you into taking trades, why are you even taking the chance of taking that trade, right? Compared to waiting for us A plus plus setup that's a real A plus setup, not just I believe as A plus because I want to believe it. You know what I mean? So there's a few things not only in that book, like I said, but just in general when it comes to the regular just trading public that I just don't agree with. But that's a different conversation for a different time, man. What's good, Mr. Albert? Welcome to the stream, my brother. Right on time. We were just about to get started. So AU, we know we're in A2. We're at the bottom of the zone of consolidation. We still don't have that break of structure. We could still see price making higher highs and higher lows. Price came up and failed to give us another higher high. On the 4-hour time frame, we have 2 weeks of rise. This week being the third week. Price gave us that third week push and then went right back down to the bottom. Right? But again, this is moving counter trends, so I'm not too worried about that. I'm only looking for shorts when market makers pattern is downtrending. Right? And we had a nice little 372. So if you were up during Asia session and you caught this trade, congratulations. Right? You won yourself a few pips. If you got in on the continuation, you got in and got yourself 23 pips. So it's not too bad of a trade at all. It was really nice. Gave us that 372. So right now for AU, again, this is one of those trades, one of those pairs that I'm taking a step back from. Right? Why are you not looking for price to continue? Couldn't you be looking for lower lows and lower highs? Yeah, internally we're making lower lows and lower highs. However, again, higher high, higher low. We had the break that gave us the higher high. So all of these pushes down to the bottom could still be that higher low to continue into that higher high. So right now for AU, I already know that for tomorrow, this is not going to be a pair on my watch list. I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to keep it very simple today, guys. Very, very simple. Oh, Mike, you know what this is. I'm not going to say any names, but he took a real nice trade today on EA. Real beautiful, I guess you could say. In other words, he definitely didn't watch an isolation session before in his life. I could tell you that much. EA, we're in V2. We were in V2, second zone consolidation. We had the break of structure. After the break, we're looking for the retest, right? We're looking for a pullback. Price is sitting at a higher high. We have 3 weeks of rise. On the third week, gave us a rise no net, which was last week. Could we expect price to give us that fourth week push? Again, guys, I wasn't expecting it, especially with it being an FOMC week. Now, could price on Friday give us this push? Still can, but I don't believe we'll get that push. Why? Because that fourth week push is above the ADR. Right? If we calculate how many pips we already did for this week compared to what the average is, right? We already did 182. Right? We did 182. That means we're almost there. Right? The weekly average is 347. So could we do another 100 or so pips to the top side? It could happen. Right? It could happen. Right? Right now we don't have any continuations on the 30 minute. Let's look if we have any engulfing candles on any time frame, right? No engulfing candles on the daily, no engulfing candles on the 4, no engulfing candles on the 1. On the 30-minute, we don't have any engulfing candles and no continuations either, right? We have a small engulfing candle. Let's see if it's valid. Red, red, green closed above the red body. Never got to pull back into it, right? Missed it by literally a pip, less than a pip, and then went straight into profit. So again, am I expecting price to give me a pullback back down to the lows to continue to push to the top side? No chance. So this is going to be up here in the lower time frame, where we start seeing higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low, lower high, change of character, lower low, break of structure. Right? Did price give us a new low already? No. We're trading between this low and this high. Right? So gonna keep EA on my watch list for now, but I like to start seeing that flip. Right? I want to start seeing price give me higher highs and higher lows instead of lower lows and lower highs to continue that push to the top side. So EA, definitely going to keep that on my watch list. EURCAD, very similar to EA. Only difference, we were in V1, we're in level 2, we're looking for the break. After the break, we're looking for a retest, looking for a pullback. We're trading at a higher high right now, so again, not the best spot to take a trade. We already have 3 weeks of rise. After 3 weeks of rise, we know the market must go down or move sideways. And if we notice it, what is price doing? Was moving sideways up until yesterday. Then we had that push back down to the bottom. So we already know EURCAD is not going to be on my watch list for tomorrow either. We have 2 days of counter drop. Price is making lower lows and lower highs. Perfect. We're going to let this one go. We'll let this one do what it has to do, and then we'll come back to it once we start trending back up. Once we start trending into the direction of the overall market maker's pattern, that's when I'll start trading again. So EURCAD, I could already turn this one off, and we already know I'm not going to be looking at that for tomorrow. I would like to know the type 1, 2, and 3 comes in when price breaks structure, right? What do you mean, Albert? I don't really get the question. For example, I'll show you an example of a type 2 pattern here on the chart. You have price consolidating through Asia session, right, up until the end of London session. I'm sorry, up until the end of Asia going into London. London going into NYC, we had the break. During NYC, we have the pullback, and then the continuation. This is a type 2 pattern. Break, retest, to continue. This is what I'll be looking for. I'll show you another example here on the same pair. Let's see if we can find one. Right, pricey was just moving like crazy, going up. It didn't really have anything here. Nothing here. Boom, perfect. Another example of a type 2 pattern. Consolidation. It consolidated all throughout Asia session. At the end of Asia going into London, we got the break. Right, at the end of London going into NYC, we got the pullback to then continue that push down to the bottom. Another type 2 pattern. Right, let's keep going. Let's see if we can find another one. This one's not a good example because of that crazy news candle that we had. But we can see that this one is kind of like a type 3 pattern. After the break, we had to pull back to then continue. But let's give you another example. Let's see if we can find one here on EU. This is a nice type 1 pattern in the downtrend in the lower time frame. You had the break, the double top if we go down to the 5-minute, 1-minute time frame, and then push 1, push 2, push 3. This is another one, another type 1 pattern that was here in an uptrend. You had consolidation, the break, the double bottom, push 1, push 2, push 3. That's all you're looking for, Albert. Right, so EU, once again, we know we're at a higher high in the structure. We're in V1 still, first zone of consolidation, looking for that second push to the top side. We have a month of rise, no continuations here on the daily time frame. No engulfing candles either. On the 4 hour, we have 2 weeks of rise. This week being the third week, price gave us that third week push to the top side and then finished here at the bottom. Still haven't finished. We still got tomorrow, so we'll see what tomorrow brings in for the rest of the week. The 4 hour time frame, I'm not marking this as higher high, higher low, higher high. This is all part of the same structure, but we'll update that this weekend. And then on the 30 minute, we have 2 days of counter drop. On top of the fact that we have 2 days of counter drop, right? We also have a new low. We have a little lower low. We had lower low, higher high, higher low, right? This is, sorry, we're in the 30 minute. This is the 5 minute. I'm bugging. My bad, guys. We have higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and then price came down and gave us a change of character, lower low over here. So we already know that for tomorrow, not really going to be looking at EU to take any trades. However, because this lower low was just an inducement candle, I am going to keep looking at EU. If it would have been a nice break to the bottom, I would have said, nah, we're going to continue that trend. Only thing I don't like about EU, again, is that we're trading in that higher high in the structure. So, gonna keep this one in our watch list, but I'm going to be very careful taking trades on EU tomorrow. Very careful. Right, and then on the 5 minute, we had lower low, lower high, lower low, change of character, which happened just now during the Asia session open. So, we'll see how this looks going into tomorrow morning for tomorrow's trading session. We're trading between this 30-minute high, and we are now trading between this 30-minute low over here. I mean, price has to make damn, man. Price has to make a higher low and lower high, making either type 1, type 2, or type before you consider making an entry. I don't think I understand your question, Albert. All you're looking for, before I look for an entry, it has to be a continuation, right? I'm not gonna just take, just like any other entry. Yo, let me take a sip of water. I don't know what my, hold on, give me 1 second. It's just like any other entry that I'm looking for, right? Before I take an engulfing candle trade, I need to make sure that there's everything else is falling into place, right? Is it following the trend? Are you counter trending? Is there continuations? Do you have enough room to trade that trade, right? STP, ADR, all these rules, right? Bounces off the EMAs, right? So just reading your question and trying to make sense of it, right? Does price need to make a higher, lower, lower high before entering? Yeah, I mean, just like any other, again, just like any other trade, right? Like, I'm, for example, price is trending higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. If at a higher high, price consolidates, right? And what could we say here, right? We got consolidation, right? I'll give you this example. And price gives you the break of the low. Boom. You already know, okay, you're trading higher high, higher low, higher high. You already know that there's a high possibility that this is going to be the higher low for price to then give you that type 1 pattern to continue that trend to the top side, right? But like, what do you want to see here? Obviously, once you make the higher low, you want to see the internal structure shift. You want to wait for price to start giving you higher highs and higher lows before you take the trade, right? If price is making higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and at a higher low, it gives you a type 1 pattern, right? And it gives you a change of character. Same thing, right? Let's say it breaks, but then it starts giving you the double bottom and it starts giving you higher highs and higher lows. Then you know you could take that trade. You just want to make sure that you're following the trend, right? Wherever that trend is, you just need to make sure that you follow the trend. Now, if price is making lower lows and lower highs, right? Lower low and lower high, lower low, right? And in a lower high, price gives you a zone of consolidation, right? What's the possibility that price is going to do this and then start pushing back up to the top side, right? Very low probability because again, you're trading lower low, lower high, lower low. You want to see these highs being broke before you take a trade going back up to the top side. Alright, I hope that made sense, and I hope that I answered that question the way you wanted me to. I think that's what you meant. But before I consider taking an entry, yeah, I want to make sure that I'm trending. I want to make sure, where am I in the trend? Are we trending? Are we counter trending? Do we need to wait for a change of character break of structure to happen? So on and so forth, right? All the questions that you see me asking myself before I take a trade, that's the same question I ask myself with all of my entry models. Again, whether it's a flag post pattern, whether it's the type 1, type 2, type 3s, whether it's an engulfing candle, whether it's a bounce off the EMAs, it's all the same thing. You treat them the same exact way. Before you have an entry, it doesn't matter what your entry model is. If you're not trading with the trend, if you're not waiting for the proper higher highs and higher lows to be set, you're most likely going to lose that trade. Right? And I could have used the example of a trader today who took a buy position and got absolutely slapped. I'm sorry, a sell position. I don't even remember what pair it was. Was it EA? I believe it was EA, right? There's a lot of things that we could go and dissect from other traders, and there's a lot of other things we could dissect from how they view the market, but it's, from the outside looking in, I will say this and I'll cut them some slack, right? From the outside looking in, obviously when you're not the person taking the trade, it looks easy, right? But there's different areas and there's different things you got to look out for, especially when you're trading news, especially when you're trading after news. There's a lot of things that you need to make sure that you see. So just from looking at the chart, right, and I just kind of want to break this down so you guys can have an idea as to why I approach trading the way that I approach it, right? A lot of people would look at this move that happened at 8:30 p.m. and they're like, oh, this was just a liquidity grab, right? First and foremost, they're zoomed into their chart just like this without seeing what's on your left hand side. If you're trading like this, you need to do yourself a favor, zoom out as much as you can to where you can still see the candlesticks, and enough so you can see what's going on the left hand side, right? Once you start seeing that price gave you higher high, higher low, higher high, and price came down and gave you an inducement of the lows, and then started making higher highs and higher lows, this is already your first indication that price is no longer going to go down, right? Price gave you the inducement. So if you're a trader and you're trading like this, which again, I know that 99% of traders trade like this, I could already see why you would think this is going down, right? You have a little shoulder, head, shoulder, you had the break, you have the retest, you have a liquidity grab, right? Once you got the liquidity grab with the inducement candles, with the exhaustion candles, you could see that price failed to make another higher high, right? There's so many things that we could sit here and talk about and say that this person's trade was an honest mistake, right? But again, there's so many rules that you have to look at that if you don't know the rules, then you don't know it, right? It's the same thing. Like if I tell you to start speaking Chinese, you're not going to be able to do it because you don't know what it is, right? You can't feel bad for not knowing Chinese because you never learned it, right? So it's the same thing with trading. We could tap into the order blocks and we could tap into the liquidity grab and what is a liquidity grab and when does it work, but if you're trading against the trend, it just boils down to the same thing I say every single trade, every single stream. If you're trading against the trend, everything that you think you know about the market is going to slap you in the face. Because if you're taking a trade that only works when you're going with the trend, which again 99% of strategies only work when you're with the trend, and you decide to take a trend, or you decide to take a trade going opposite of the trend, that's when you're going to lose. Right? So again, we understand, and we see it on Instagram, and we see it on Twitter and YouTube every single day, even on TikTok. Right? A lot of people do not understand market structure. They might believe that they understand what market structure is because again, they were always taught market structure by people who didn't know what market structure was. So again, if you're a baby and your parents tell you that the color orange isn't orange, but it's black, when you get older, you're going to pick up the color orange and you're going to say that it's black. And then everybody else around you is going to say, no, that's orange. Well, how would you know the difference when your parents told you that that color was black instead of orange? Right? So a lot of these traders are under that delusion that they understand market structure, but then when they go and talk about it, it looks completely different than when they're on the charts. Because again, everybody on the chart could show you this. They could draw this. They could draw higher highs and higher lows and lower highs. But then they go on their charts and they're saying that this is lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low, right? That's not market structure. That's just candles moving. So a lot of these people, of course people are going to take shorts here because, oh, it's a double bottom, oh, it's a retest, oh, we're back down in the resistance level of the neckline, we're going to get the retest to continue. You know, all the bullshit that they want to talk about, it's going to be there, but it's not correct. Right? It's not correct. So I don't know why I went down to that rabbit hole of talking about that, but either way, I hope I answered your question, Albert. I forgot what the hell I was even going with that statement, I'm not gonna lie. But the end of the day, guys, be careful with the people you follow on social media, please. There's one person claiming that she learned how to trade in 2 days and turned $26 into $26,000, yo, and you know, I once knew somebody like that too. So there's it's you know, it's good marketing, bro. Great video quality, good voice. Um, you know, very appealing to those who are in very bad situations and need to get money. And it sucks that a lot of people are spending their hard-earned money on a course that's never going to make them any type of money, unfortunately. But you know, if you want to learn how to trade, come trade for 2 days. Again, it just goes back to what I've been talking about this entire week, and you guys have heard me say it on stream hundreds of times already. It's if you want fast money, if you want to go get money in 2 days, go get yourself a job at McDonald's. They train you for a week, and you get your first paycheck after the first week of on the job. You know, there's no real skill. There's no real career that you're going to learn in 2 days. Nothing. You're especially not going to be turning $26 into 25,000. But again, it's very appealing when you look at your bank account and all you have is $50, and you're like, you know what? I could use $25, and I'll turn that shit into 25,000 in 2 days. My brother, you're going to go crazy, cause you're gonna learn real quick that $25 you just wasted it all on one trade. How this one infamous trader took $300,000 and lost it in 24 hours. But again, there's still people out there who continue to buy their courses and continue to spend their money on a whole bunch of bullshit. And that's okay, man. It's your money, it's not mine. But I could tell you one thing. You guys just gotta open up your eyes just a little bit. To be like, damn, you know what? You're right. You can't be a doctor after going to med school for 1 day. Can't even apply to med school if you haven't even gone to college for it, so. You know, but what do I know? I'm just a streamer on YouTube, man. So, there goes that. Right now, let's focus on what we gotta do, right? So, GA, we know that we're in peak high, right? We're pretty much just still trending. We're at a higher high. We just broke out of V2. right? We got the break, the retest. Price gave us another higher high. And we know we're looking for a higher low, right? We had 3 weeks of rise. On the third week, gave us a rise drop. Looking for a fourth week push to the top side. Price finally gave us that fourth week push. Perfect, right? At this point, I'm going to be turning off GA. We're trading at a higher high. I'm not going to be trading this. GCAD, daily time frame, where are we? Same thing. We're trading at a higher high. We broke out of V2, second zone of consolidation. After a higher high, after a break of structure, what are we looking for? We're looking for a pullback. This is going to be another pair. No continuations on the daily, no continuations on the 4-hour. We had a nice little engulfing candle. Price tapped into it, gave us that push. Right, 30-minute time frame, we had lower low, lower high, lower low. Then price gave us a higher high. Right, and again, this is going to be one of those situations where I'm not going to be saying that this is higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low. All of this is part of the same trend. All of this is part of the same trend. 2 days of rise. On the third day, which was today, price gave us a rise drop. Now, could we expect price to give us a fourth day push to the top side? Again, it's very unlikely that that will happen, because the pullback that we had towards the end of the session today was very steep. It's very unlikely to happen. And again, we're trading at a higher high. Are we expecting price to make higher high, higher high, higher high, higher high, or are we expecting price to make higher highs and higher lows? Right, so again, at this moment, we could see also that this entire week, price has just been moving sideways. Goes up, down, goes back up, goes back down, goes back up, goes right back down. We're right now where price is at, we would be at a no net for the week. We're exactly where price opened for this week. So gonna leave GCAD on my watch list for that fourth day push. If price decides to give it to us, if price decides to give us an entry, then we'll take it. GJ, we're in peak high territory. We're still trading between higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low in the daily time frame. Price started that push to the top side, gave us a zone of consolidation. Within the zone of consolidation, price gave us 3 weeks of rise. Right, so this week we knew price was either going to move sideways or go down, and right now again we're at a no net. So am I expecting price to continue this push to the top side for this week? To be honest, not really. What do we have on GJ? We have a change of character. We have the break of structure. After the break, what are we looking for? We're looking for the pullback, right? We're looking for the retest. So GJ is getting ready. It's getting ready. It's definitely getting ready, but not yet. This is going to be a pair that I want to keep an eye on for next week. We have 2 days of counter drop. We'll keep this one on the watch list just in case, and we'll go on to the next one. GU daily time frame. Zoom this out. We were in V1. We were in the first zone of consolidation in an uptrend. Price gave us the break of structure of the zone of consolidation, gave us a retest. After we got the retest, we started seeing internal higher highs and higher lows. Perfect. Doing exactly what we got to see it do. Right now in the 4-hour time frame, daily time frame, we're trading in that higher high. We have no continuations on the 4-hour time frame. We also don't have any engulfing candles here. And on the 30-minute time frame, we have price just going crazy. Right, higher high, lower low, right, higher high again. Then price then gave us another lower low, change of character. So we know that we're trading between this 30-minute high. We know we're trading between this 30-minute low. And right now we just gotta let price do what it has to do. 372, we had that yesterday. Perfect. I'll do these last. We'll do USDCAD and ZARs. That's the last 2 pairs we have. The other pairs that I have, US30 gold, Bitcoin, and oil, I'm not gonna break them down on the stream. But USDCAD, we have higher high, higher low, higher high. Price gave us a change of character, break of structure, retest. Price push 1, push 2, push 3, and now we got that pullback. Could we expect price to continue the push to the top side? We'll have to wait and see. We have no continuations. USDCAD, we know we're in peak high territory. We're in the highest point in the market. We already completed level 3. We reached the previous peak high, and price right now is just moving sideways. We have no continuations on the daily. On the 4-hour, we have no continuations either. Right now price is again just kind of moving sideways. And then on the 30-minute, we can see that. So right now, just gonna be patient with USDCAD. I'm not gonna rush into any trades. Just gonna wait it out. USD ZAR, same thing as USDCAD. Pretty much we're in V2, right? We're looking for that third push to the top side. We know we still have this gap at the bottom of the market. When we zoom in and start looking at the candlesticks, we can still see price giving us lower lows and lower highs. No continuations on the daily. Same thing on the 4-hour. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. No continuations. And then on the 30-minute, we had a change of character, very similar to USDCAD. Change of character, break of structure. We had the little retest and a little push to the top side, but it wasn't enough to give us a higher high. And we ended up getting a day of rise. No continuations on here either. Who let the dogs out? Yo, I don't know, but my fucking allergies are going crazy, bro. My nose is itching like a motherfucker. Any questions, guys? Any other pairs you guys want me to go over? Let me know. If not, once I finish marking up US30, gold, Bitcoin, and oil, then we'll be done for the night. We'll be back again tomorrow morning for the live trading session, the final live trading session of the week. We have a day of rise, got a day of no net, gold, trading at a higher high. 4-hour, we're trading at a higher high. 30-minute time frame, we have 3 days of rise. After 3 days of rise, the market must move sideways or go down, and we ended up going down. You know, it's very simple, guys. Very simple stuff. It's the same shit over and 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 over again. It's nothing different. Every time you step up to the trade, always gotta look the same. It's very boring, actually. Very boring. How was the workout, man? I'm sore, but it was good. I'm tired. I can't wait to go to sleep, but it was good. I can't complain. Oh no. And then oil gave us an engulfing candle going up in a downtrend at the bottom of the zone of consolidation. You already know what the deal is. We're not taking no trades on oil just yet. We had a little change of character. Price came down, gave us a pullback, then continued that push to the top side. So that's pretty much it for today. At this point, if VTA isn't your #1 channel to learn trading, just don't know what to say. I appreciate the strict learning process, of course, Albert. No problem, my brother. Again, man, there's just you know, I can't put my finger on it. You know, I can't really, I can and I can't, right? Because at the end of the day, it's not like I'm on Instagram promoting. It's not like I'm on social media promoting. You know, I'm not posting what people want to see because, you know, I believe some again, like, you know, you guys know I'm a believer, right? I'm a man of faith, right? And the reality is that if you found us, doesn't matter how you found us, right? Especially when we're not posting on social media about cars and the money that we're making, you're in the right place at the right time, right? The people who find us are the people who are going to be getting the most out of us, right? I get Mike in my ass every fucking single day. When you gonna post on Instagram? Like, yo, I don't want to have to explain this every single time I do the streams and I do the one-on-one sessions. Like, you don't understand how much it pisses me off when my first impression of somebody is them asking me, okay, so how long till I start making money? Like, if that's the first fucking question you have, there's two things. Number one, I know you're not gonna last longer than a week. I already know that it's not even gonna be a week. This is gonna be the first and final time I'm gonna speak to you. Because if that's the first question you have, when you start getting into trading, then that means that you're already poisoned. That means that you saw something somewhere of somebody making a lot of money and you thought that he made that shit. Yes, you thought that he made that after one day of learning what trading was, right? So that's the can of worms that I don't want to open up. I don't want to be a social media person for a lot of reasons, main reasons because I've never been one. And again, for the second reason being especially in the trading world, which is 99% of the people who are into trading are gamblers. And I don't want to surround myself, I don't want to surround our group that we already have with that mentality, with the people that are going to be in the chat spreading nonsense, right? So it's, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, right? You're in here for a reason. Everybody who watches these recordings, you're in here for a reason. Like, there's a reason why you're in here and you don't know who we are. You just clicked on the link, right? Again, we have hundreds of free videos on our YouTube page that we've been doing since 2023. So, with no promotion, we're not really posting links on social medias. Like, it's completely free. So, it's difficult. It's a difficult thing to kind of go through. I want to see the brand succeed. I want to see our group succeed. But at the end of the day, too, it's you gotta fight the battle, which is again, do I want to open up my server for everybody, meaning the people who don't know how to trade and the people who want to learn how to trade? And unfortunately, for my own sake and my own sanity, like, there's no way I'm gonna do that. There's no way I'm gonna put myself through that, especially for free. There's no way. Right? If I was charging, right, if I was charging $150, $200 for people to join, then yo, perfect. Right? If you're paying me to not even fucking do one-on-one session, then perfect. Right? But at the end of the day, too, it's my own sanity. I don't want to have to fucking hear everybody, because again, I'm talking about friends, families, random people on social media who have the same mentality, which is, yo, you started trading today, okay, when are you gonna make me $1 million? Yo, I got $500. Can you invest it for me? And then I'll take 80% of that. You keep 20. Yo, you're crazy. So, strict learning process, but at the end of the day, too, it's not really that strict. It's just trading is what it is. Like, what you see is what you're gonna get. If you don't know your rules, you're gonna lose. If you know your rules, it's very difficult to lose when you know your rules. Right? It's very difficult to fail a math test if you know the calculations, right? If you know the formulas, if you know how to solve the problem, it's very difficult to fail a math test that you're ready for. It's the same thing in trading. It's very difficult to lose in trading if you know the rules. It's very difficult. Now, because you miscalculated something or you misinput a number, because you're human, at the end of the day, it is what it is, right? We're human. We're not robots, like I've said before. You're gonna have a losing day where you fucked up, right? You're gonna have a day like yesterday where Kendall told me there was 2 days of fucking USDR rise, and it's like, yo, how the hell did you see a rise when that shit was a drop? Are you gonna have a human day? It is what it is. Sorry, Kendall. Called you out by your name. Love you, man. Right? You're gonna have human days. You're gonna see a zone of consolidation. You're gonna take a buy at the top of the zone of consolidation, right, Kendall? So, yo, it's human. We're not robots. We're gonna make those mistakes, right? And the good thing about being human is that you're gonna make that mistake once and it hurt. So now you're gonna be careful about not doing that again, right? It's the same thing, right? I could tell you fire burns. I could tell you that it hurts if you touch the fire. At the end of the day, you're gonna go ahead and touch the fire. And then after you touch it, after you felt that it hurt, you never touch fire again. It's the same thing when we were kids. Your mom tells you, yo, the stove is hot, don't touch the stove. What happens 5 minutes later? You're fucking out of the house crying with your fingers all burnt because you touched the stove after your mom told you it was already hot. But I could assure you one thing, you touched that stove once in your life and you never did that shit again. You were probably traumatized by the stove for a few years and you never went around it when it was on. So it's the same thing when it comes to trading. I could tell you all the right and wrong things to do. You're going to make a choice now. You're either going to make the choice to make the mistake so that you feel it. Once you feel it and you saw that that mistake causes you $100, $1,000, $2,000, you'll never make that same mistake again. right? So in the world of trading, it's either you know it or you know it. There's no in between. And it doesn't matter how you get to that knowing it process. It doesn't matter if you got there by just listening or if you had to experience the ups and the downs. At the end of the day, you're the one that's going to make that decision. He said, hey, yo, my bad, man. My bad. So, it's pretty much it, man. There's nothing more to it. Like I said, guys, tomorrow's Friday, so there's a 90% chance I might not even take a trade tomorrow, but I will be awake. You know, I'll be up. I'll be doing the live trading session with you guys here in the morning. So, hope you guys have a good rest of your night, and we'll be back again tomorrow morning. And again, tomorrow there's no isolation session since it's Friday. What's good, Jessica? Did you day final? Hey, I don't know what you asked me there. I'm gonna be honest. I appreciate the old man, old head. Damn, old head. That's crazy, kinda. Nah, man, no problem. I'm in court, but I'll be there. I'll be there in a few minutes. I'll stay in there for a little bit. Um. Oh, say. I don't even know what the question was about. Did I say final, or you mean like the last isolation session for this week? Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. No problem, Mr. Adrian. Have a good rest of your night, my brother. You too, Albert. Have a good rest of your night. See you guys tomorrow morning. Yeah, if that's what you're talking about, Jessica, yeah, this is the last isolation session for the week. Fridays we don't do isolation sessions, just Monday through Thursday. Usually I don't really do the live trading session in the mornings either on Friday since I don't trade Fridays really. It's rare if I trade on a Friday. But we'll still do it. I got nothing else better to do. So I'll be here tomorrow morning. And then we'll be back again on Sunday for the weekly market breakdown. Looking forward to it? Perfect. Alright, guys. Have a good rest of your night. See you guys tomorrow morning. Peace out.